Okay, so the question number 9 is I want to ask a question about God's creation, whereby people talk about the serpent came to deceive Eve and all that. So my question is, why do you think the serpent is not an animal? In my own ideology, I see kind of picture the serpent as being an animal, but we have some people with different school of thought that the serpent, the Bible is not referring to the serpent
An
as an
animal, right?
animal.
Okay, yeah.
So what's your own take on that, your own approach?
But if you look at it critically, there is no way that an animal can deceive a human being. Are you getting? So when we say an animal is deceiving a human being, we are just actually we are degrading the human intellect. Because there is no way, there was nothing. And you get that was like the epitome of human intellect at that point. And so there's no way an animal could have deceived this. However, even in the text itself, you get the grammatical structure of the text shows that it's not an animal. And that's why you see that it said that this the serpent is wiser than any animal and not any other. If it was in an animal, it would have used any other animal. But because it was saying that the serpent is wiser than any animal there exists, whether it's snake, whether it's a lion, whether it's beast or whatever. You get so the
Okay.
serpent is wiser than every of them. And so another thing, if you look at it again, so the word that was translated as serpent in the Hebrew is called nakash. Nakash or
Nakash.
Nahash, or
Nakash,
some
okay.
people say it like that, like it's Nahash. And so the meaning of that word, it has two meanings or a few other meanings. For example, bank in English language. If I tell you that I went to the bank and I took my bath from morning till evening and nobody came around, I was naked from morning till evening, would you believe?
No,
Why would you not believe?
because it's not realistic to me.
It's not realistic to you.
Yes.
But you didn't ask me what I was talking about. I was talking about the river bank.
The riverbank.
And
Okay.
I can actually bath from there morning till evening and nobody will come and I will bath naked there. And you get so
Okay.
that's how it is even in the Hebrew. Are you getting? So the word that was translated as Nahash, you understand, that was the word Nahash. It has other meanings, and serpent is one of it. And as a snake is one of it. And so when we look at the word as a snake, we assume that the Bible is talking about a snake. And you get, but the Bible is talking about something that has capacity to deceive a person. And you guys, so and Moses saw that thing and he saw something that has the capacity to deceive something. So and that's why the word is saying that that thing foretells the future. That is something that foretells the future. And you get it. And so in our understanding of the human composite, what a human is, it is actually the human intuition that's the capacity to tell the future. You get me? Also has the capacity to charm a person. You get so that's what Moses saw that was discussing with Eve. But because that word can also mean serpent in other sense, just as I just told you about the bank. You get it?
Mhm.
So people now follow the one they know. You understand? They are not actually looking at the word as something that can charm, something that can foretell the future. Because actually, a snake cannot tell the future. Can a snake do?
No.
No, but then your intuition can foretell something that has not happened to you. And you get a hand. So that was what Moses saw, and that's how he explained it. You get so our understanding that it's a serpent, it's because that's what we see. We interpret the Bible by what we see in our environment, and that's how we are not able to understand what the Bible is actually saying.
So concerning still on that question, can one say that when the Bible is referring to a serpent, can
Okay.
one with this explanation, like is it okay to say that the Bible is trying to attribute it to a certain kind of behavior exhibited by a person?
Well, if you have that kind of intuition, the way you think, you understand, of
Okay.
course, it will show in your behavior. But then the Bible was not actually talking about a person there. It was not actually
Okay.
talking about a person
So
or a person, someone that has the behavior of a snake. Who has the behavior of a snake? What is the behavior of a snake? Do you know the behavior of a snake?
no.
And that is it. So the Bible is not actually talking about any behavior. It's talking about something that Moses saw, a natural thing. Are you getting
Okay.
me? And then what he saw was the institution. And you get, he didn't see anybody because let me tell you something. Did you know that Adam and Eve were together, and then the serpent was talking to Eve while Adam was not even hearing? And so one of the only reasons that that can happen is if that thing that was talking to Eve is inside of Eve. You understand? So if it was an external conversation, Adam would have been a part of it. And then you
Okay.
understand. But because it is a conversation that is happening inside of Eve, and so the deception is an internal one and not an external deception. You get it? So it's not actually talking about a person that has a character because
So can we also refer to like is the state of the mind at that moment?
Of course, you can
Okay.
refer to that as a state of mind because your intuition, are you getting, is going to is going to build a state of mind within you, and because that
Okay.
comes from your experience, and it comes from your experience, from what you know and what you have been taught, and that's what, of course, it will affect your state of mind.
I was little. Our mom,
Okay,
we asked them, why is it that snail, other animals, they have legs that they walk, but snail crawl with their belly. Then they make this explanation using the Bible, whereby um saying that the serpent deceive Eve and all that. Because of that, then God cursed man and also lay curse on the serpent. That was why the serpent was crawling on the floor. So in that case, I want to ask if you can share light about the cause. Like, what about the cause? What is the cause that God placed on the
on the
serpent?
serpent. Okay, now in your example when you were making, you talked about snail. What is the cause on the snail that is making it crawl in belly?
What is what?
The cause on the snail that's making it crawl. Do you know how many animals are crawling on their belly? And so, how many of them did God curse? The Bible said God curses the serpent, right? Okay,
Yeah.
now, and so the curse now affected the snail. It affected octopus. It affected many other animals that crawl on their belly. No, that is not. It's not. It's not. That's not what the Bible is talking about. Now,
Okay.
let me just go into that cause. The cause is that you crawl on your belly and you eat dust all the days of your life. And that is an idiomatic expression. That's an idiomatic expression. So if someone were to tell you that you crawl on your belly, are you getting me? Saying that you'll be defeated. Are you
Okay.
getting me? And so if someone were to tell you that you will eat dust, it's telling you the kind of defeat is a shameful and embarrassing defeat. Are you getting?
Okay.
And so when we're younger, when we beat somebody, we now bring dust
Bring
and put
those.
dust on the person's mouth. And the person
Yeah.
just to, yeah, is to embarrass the person. Are you getting? So even if you go to the New Testament, the Bible said that God put to shame the power of the set of Satan. Are you getting the princes of this world? Are you getting me? God put the shame to shame the power of Satan openly, and so it's an embarrassing defeat that Christ gave to the power of Satan. You understand? So that was the cause that God was talking about, a cause of an open defeat. Are you getting? And so it's not about crawling on the belly because you can't tell how many animals were actually crawling on the belly, and not all of them did God cause, right?
All
Okay,
right. Let's go back talking about the Garden of
Eden.
Eden,
Okay,
whereby talk about the fruit of the knowledge of life
okay,
and
okay.
the tree of life, which also we can refer to as the tree of knowledge. So
Okay.
a lot of conversation and controversy about, okay, people were saying that, okay, since God knows that this tree is bad, you
Mm-hmm.
understand?
Okay.
Now when man, if man goes close to the tree, this is what will happen, this is the consequences. So a lot of
Okay.
people refer to as, okay, like a father
Okay.
now
Okay.
deliberately put a hot iron
Okay.
on the
Okay.
table, knowing fully well that the
The
child will
child must
crawl
touch the
and get
iron.
hot.
Okay.
So people are now asking the question, so why would God now put the tree of knowledge of good and evil
In the
in the
garden,
garden,
and now tell them not to take it.
not tell them not to take it here?
That's a good one. That's a good one. And I think it's because they are not actually those people who ask that kind of question, they're not actually thinking about it in a broader sense. Now, if have you ever asked yourself that could it be that they needed that tree?
No, I haven't.
Yeah, so the tree of good and evil is actually something that human beings need to be present. Are you get me? Without it, are you get me? Life will not even be enjoyable to the human. And so if you look at the Bible said that God, when God created everything, he saw that it was good. And that includes the tree of the sin. However, what God told them not to do was to consume it. You understand? For instance, I'll give you an example. Cocaine, for instance. You understand that you actually use cocaine. Everybody use cocaine in our
Yeah.
pain medicines and all that. And then, but you, when you should not consume cocaine. You get, because when you consume cocaine, it becomes an abuse of cocaine, and that's the
Mm.
same way that God told them that do not consume this thing. However, in your daily experience, you need this thing to be, because obviously everybody, once you are sick, you need cocaine in your system. Are you getting it? So for health and everything, right? The doctors are going to give you once in one, but then to consume cocaine is an abuse of cocaine, and that's the same thing. That's the same situation we have in the Bible. The tree of knowledge of good and evil is something that human being actually need. You get. However, God told them not to consume it, and that's the case. And so you can't, you can't say that God should not have put it there. It will mean that God did not want them to have a full experience of humanity.
Okay, concerning that the tree of knowledge of good and evil.
Okay.
Like when we were small, we asked our parents, and what is that tree?
Okay.
They would
What is
say
the
it's
tree, Abi?
apple.
It's up.
You understand? It's apple. And when we were little, that will make me, my friend, not have
To not
like
like apples.
apple.
Apples,
You
Abi.
understand?
Yeah,
We're
I
scared of
understand.
eating
Eating
apple.
apples. Yeah.
So I want to ask that what exactly is that tree? Even a lot of pastors, I don't know if they want to talk about the tree,
They don't.
they don't they don't clarify it. They just, how would I put it? They just say it in an abstract way.
Oh, okay, okay. Well, if you don't know it, why will you know? You just use this time.
Mm.
Maybe you just say, "Oh, you can't understand. It's mystery,
It's
mystery,
mystery, yeah.
mystery." It's not actually mystery. You get it? So it's when somebody see everything in the scriptures have been demystified. The purpose of Christ is to come to demystify something. If there is any mystery anywhere, it shows that the person does not really know. The tree is actually the sex organ,
The sex
the
organ.
tree of knowledge and good and of evil. And so what you see as not a good and evil, are you getting me? It's talking about extremes, pleasure
Mm.
and pain. You understand? Good and evil is talking about suffering and joy. Are you getting me? It's talking about just extremes. Are you getting me? Desire and lack. You guys,
Mm.
that's what the Bible is talking about. And so God is telling Adam not to eat this tree, because now if you eat this tree, you start to have suffering, you start to have pain, you start to suffer, you start to do this thing. So don't bring problem to yourself. Are you getting me? You start to have joy, it's just excitement, and you all start to have sadness again. You get, you start so melancholy. You all start to have, it's just extremes. Tree of the so. In other sense, it is tree of benefit and breakage. That's actually the Hebrew word, benefit and breakage. Are you getting? So it's talking about you gain from it and then you die from it. Are you getting me? And so you enjoy from it and you die from it. So that's why he told him that if you eat it, you will die. Because it's a tree that you live life to the fullest and then you also die at the end.
Oh,
So that's
okay.
what so that's it. And then but the tree itself is actually the sex organ. So when you use the sex organ, you experience the highest of pleasure that you can ever experience on earth. You get, when you use your sex organ, especially if the sex is very good, you experience the highest of the kind of pleasure that you can see. There's no greater pleasure on earth than sex. Are you getting? And so eventually you will die. And so that's what God is saying. So and then with with that tree, it comes a mixture of all these emotions. Now I'll tell you something now. So the sex energy, which is the libido or something, yeah, it doesn't it's not a particular energy. It's a burst of energies. It's burst of both happiness and sadness. It's burst of both joy and chaos. That's where it comes. So if it comes over you, you understand. So you see, I don't know how to explain it to you, but then people that really invest themselves into this thing, they come with anger, come with all of these things. And so that is a mixture of energies. And you can, so it comes with extreme energies. That's why the sex energy, that's what it comes with. And you get, and so that is what God is telling them not to consume, because if they consume it, he say at these extremes you will die. Because you know, on a normal day, you can't go here and come here. If let me tell you something, if you were to hit something now, hit it to the fullest and get it it freeze that same thing, what will happen to it? It will break. And that's why it is a tree of breakage. Are you getting me? Whatever you eat to the extremes, eventually it will break. And that's what the Bible, God was telling them, that if you use this tree, you will die. Because it's a tree of extremes, and it will result to breakage or death or truncation. Death is a breakage of life, and
Yeah.
that's what it is actually.
So, okay, you said the tree is a sex organ.
Yes.
So I want to ask, why do you think it's the sex organ? And also, my question is, did God not want them to um, reproduce?
No, that's two questions. So let me first ask why I think it's sex organ. Well, it is sex organ because when we understand what the tree is, and you get me, we now understand the whole parts of life. And now, the reason why it is sex organ is because if you look at Eve, are you getting me? When Eve saw the tree, when she touched it, are you getting me? The Bible says she said it is desire of eyes. Are you getting me? No. Some people are going to tell you that it is pleasurable to the eyes. No, that's not what the Bible is saying. The Bible is telling you that it is desire, not just any desire. The word that was translated as desire in that particular place is lust. It's a negative desire. And so in other parts of the Bible, like the Psalms and other places that you find that same word, it is used as lust. And so it is lust of the eyes. In John, John said that all that is in the world is lust of the flesh, lust of the eyes, and the pride of life. So lust of the eyes, that's what Eve saw in the beginning when she touched that tree. And John said, all of these are not from God. Are you getting me? So that desire of the eyes, are you getting me, is from that tree that it came. Are you getting? So it is lust. And then sex, it comes with lust. You can't be thinking about someone sexually when you have not actually lost about that person. And so that's what Eve was saying, that this is lust of the eyes. Are you getting me? So, and lust, it comes with sex. So we know that it's a sexual thing.
Okay, also, the second question, did God not want them to procreate?
Procreate. Okay, why he told them not to consume the tree if it doesn't? Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Procreation, we need to understand that procreation was not the agenda of God in the beginning. You understand? Procreation.
Okay.
So God was telling them not to procreate, not to use that penis. Are you getting it? Because eventually, if you use penis, you will procreate. So God told them, no, procreation was something meant for animals, not for human being. Are you getting? So I'll tell you something now. When God God created animals after their own kind, and He blessed them to be fruitful after their own kind and to multiply after their own kind. Context. Are you getting me? He created them after their own kinds, and He blessed them to be fruitful and multiply. And so they will multiply after their own kinds and be fruitful after their own kinds. That is the context of animals' blessing. Are you getting me? To be after their own kind. So it's to procreation. And so the term after their own kinds, by understanding, we know that is procreate after your own kind, because in procreation you bring another one after your own kind. But that's not how human beings were made. Human beings were not made after their own kind. In fact, the time that the human beings decided to make after their own kind was after they have sinned. And you get, after they have eaten that tree, that's, they have used the sex organ, they've touched it, they've developed a lust for each other. You get, that's when they started to produce after their own kind. Please, I'll land. And so the tree, are you getting me? The tree created that desire. Are you getting me? However, that desire was not there. And God told them not to touch it, because that desire will not be there. And so if you're not lusting over somebody, you're not feeling to sleep with someone, how will you procreate? You can't procreate. So procreation was never the agenda of God. And I tell you something, procreation is going to last as long as that sin continue to last. Are you getting me? When sin is completely eradicated, you will not need to procreate. In fact, let me ask you a question. If you live forever, do you think you think to be born? You will not want to. Why would you born? You get, so procreation was man's way of living forever, because he knows he will die. You get, he knows he will die. He was scared. Are you getting me? He was scared he would die. And so I will die. So what do I need? How do I continue? Let's procreate. You understand? So the whole agenda of procreation is man's from the beginning. So what we were born into that life, so we don't really do
So, if procreation was never the
agenda.
agenda
Okay.
of God, so why did He bless them to be fruitful. And how would they multiply if we are not supposed to procreate?
Okay. Okay. Like I said earlier, I said that animals were also blessed to be fruitful. It's not only human being, however now. But because animals were made to procreate after their own kinds. Are you getting me? And now, fruitfulness for human being, you are not an animal. I'm not an animal, so I can't be fruitful animal way. I have to be fruitful God's way. Does God procreate? No. To heaven reality. Are you getting? Because why? God made man to be like himself. Are you getting me? To be like himself. So it's not like an animal, but like God. Are you get? So now the word fruitful, to bear fruit, you can only bear fruit in wisdom, not outside wisdom. You can only bear fruit in the wisdom of God. And so you bear the fruit of wisdom. Are you get me? You increase in might, in understanding. Are you getting? And so God was telling them to bear fruit and increase. Are you getting? So it is in righteousness. It's not this. I'll tell you something now. Jesus Christ, for an instance, the Bible said that Jesus Christ increased in wisdom and in stature. And you get me? Not the physical stature, but in might. You understand? Stature, you want the stature is not,
Yeah,
is a mental stature.
it's a mental.
So he increased in that way. And that is the same thing that God told Adam. In fact, it's not only Jesus Christ. Many other people, Samuel, what's his name? John the Baptist. And you get, these are all men that they were bearing fruit and they were increased. And that's the same thing that God told Adam. Are you getting me? Now, I'll tell you something. I'll ask you a question now. Do you think that Adam was not bearing fruit and was not increasing before he sinned? He
Yeah, it
was.
was.
He was. He was increasing and he was bearing fruit before he sinned. It's just that when he sinned, procreation just became a contingency plan for him. So bearing fruits and increasing has nothing to do with procreation. You understand? No, this is not. See, you can increase and bear fruit and then not even procreate. It doesn't really matter. It's not, God does. God is happy with you. In fact, this procreation we are talking about, when sin ceases, procreation is going to cease with it because it came with it.
Okay, so this procreation. So my question is, but God made Eve to help Adam. You
Okay.
understand? So how do you explain that?
Okay, that how do I explain why God created Eve if God does not want him to procreate? Yeah,
Yeah.
okay now. So the thing is that um when God created Eve, are you getting me? God created Eve not to be the helpmate for Adam. It is because we like to look at the Bible and look at our reality and say, oh, and because we are people that we define life with our sight. Are you getting me now? So because you don't see anything after God said, I will make Eve, I will make Adam helper. Eve is the next person, so Eve has to be the helper. No, and you have to understand that that's why we are thinking this way is because we already believe that procreation is evident, is the real core of life. And so let me tell you, you can only procreate with a woman. You can't procreate with an animal. And you get so that if procreation is central to your explanation of life, you would think that Adam can only achieve that purpose through the help of a woman. Are you getting me? But then God has nothing. He was not made to help Adam. No, that is how we understand it. Are you getting me? It was God that would be the helper of Adam. Because why? Let me tell you something. Why did God say Adam needs helper? That's the main question. Why did Adam need helper? Now, if you look at the Bible, Bible said that God gave Adam a commandment.
Yeah.
Are you getting me?
Yeah.
And so God knew that Adam cannot obey this commandment on his own. He needs to be helped. Are you getting now? And so the helper that God will provide is the helper that will help him obey the commandment of God. Are you
Okay.
getting me? And so the helper that helps people obey God is the Holy Spirit, is God Himself. Are you getting? So God was saying that I will provide myself for Adam to be able to obey the commandment that I've given him. I will lead him to be able to obey the commandments. And you can just like we see in the Bible, it says, lead us in your righteousness, in the paths of righteousness. Are you getting? So that is the help. That's the help that God is talking about. And now I will tell you something. The whole prophets in the Bible, they knew that the people had a faulty understanding of what was in Genesis. And that's why they kept saying that God is my helper. Everybody, God is my helper. God is my helper. God is my helper. It's like a deconstruction from the norm. The norm was that the woman was the helper. And so for a disconstruction from the norm, you shout, no, God is my helper. It's just like you going against the government of now, the narrative of now. You have to keep saying this thing. I am this, I'm not that. You understand? Just like we do in
Yeah.
Christianity, that we say,
Yeah.
I am what God says I am. I am not what the world says. That is what those people were doing. They were saying that God is my helper. God is my helper. God is my helper. Because they understood that the woman's function is not to help the man. Are you getting me? So it is man. A woman cannot help herself. How will she help you? Do you get? So I think people place too much responsibility on the woman, and that's why you see that even life, things like marriages, they are failing nowadays, because you are asking the woman to help you. Help you for what? Can she help herself? She hasn't even helped her. So everybody needs help. You get, and we all need help from God. And so you don't need to be placing one responsibility on anybody to help you. In fact, the Bible said that the help of man is futile, and that man includes a woman. You understand? The help of
Yeah.
anybody, whether Eve or Adam, is vain. You get? So no, Eve cannot help Adam. Yeah, so it is God. The word that was translated as make is provide. Are you getting me? I will provide help for Adam. I will provide help meet for Adam. So if you see meat is like something that enough. So I will provide help enough for Adam. And this help that God was talking about is a ever-present help. You understand? And ever present. So God is saying, I will provide help that is enough for Adam. Enough to do what? To obey the commandments. Are you getting me? And Jesus Christ is a man that got that help in full. Are you getting me? And you can see that he was obeying the commandments of God as a result of the help that he had. Because God provided that same help that he provided for Adam, that Adam saw and did not value. You understand? And chose something else. So that's how it is. So it's not really about Eve or not.
I want to go back to still on that procreation,
Okay, procreation.
because I'm not understanding the help. So, can we say that the existence of the woman can we refer to as a backup plan for God in order for the purpose of Adam so that he can obey the commandment of God?
Okay. Now, I want to ask something now. There's a song that I used to hear. People used to say that all my help come from God.
Yeah.
Now, if all of your help already come from God, what other help do you need? An extra? No, no, no. God is enough. See, when God was talking to Abraham, he said, I am your exceedingly greatness. Everything you would ever be. I am the. So God does not need the backup plan, because God cannot fail.
So, if like you said that God is our helper,
Yes.
right? Since God is a helper, like does that mean there is no uh need for the creation of the woman to help Adam obey God's commandment, since God
Is the
is the
helper.
helper? So
Okay.
what is not the role of Eve?
But Eve has no role that is given to her like that. It's just the same role that God gave to Adam. And you get me? Obey the commandments. That's the role. In fact, the Bible said that the responsibility of humankind is to obey God. And so is Eve's responsibility, is my responsibility, is your responsibility. It was Jesus' responsibility to obey God. That's the role of all humankind. It's there in the Bible. And you get it? The role of all humankind is to obey God. You understand? So God was going to populate the whole earth. Are you getting? So he started with Adam, right? He made Eve. He would have made you out of Eve. He would have made me out of Eve, just like that. And that's God. God had the time and resources and even capacity to achieve this. You understand? So it is human being that does not have the capacity and time and all of this. That's why we procreate with our organ. You get, because we can't do that thing that God did in the beginning. We can't do it. You get. So you don't really need in fact, you don't really need it. It's just because of sin that brought you to need to. It created a need that should not be inside of us. You get. So the role of a woman is the same as a man, as the role of a man, to obey God. There's no separate role for a man and a woman. These are human establishment, human institution. You'll be mother, I'll be father. No, these are human establishments.
So I also want to ask Like for you to share more light about the cause that God, people say God plays
On human
on
beings and all
human
of
being
this.
and
Okay,
all of that.
okay, okay. Firstly, we look at the cause on the woman. Are you getting me? Okay, or the cause of the serpent. Right? Okay, the cause of the serpent is that the human intuition, though it was high, it would now like it was focused on high things. Are you getting me? Now it will be focused on low things, and that I say you come down. Are you getting me? And you get, so you will be brought down because you was focused. Now humans cannot think about the things of God anymore because these are high things. What they think about things like animals because they are now low. You get, so it is, that's what the intuition does. The intuition does not, cannot make you focus on high things anymore, right? On righteousness, on mercy, and all of these things, or on things that are in heaven. You get me? No, it now make you start to think about. See, the only thing that human intuition is good for is having children, sex, getting more food. All of these things. These are things that animals seek. You understand? And that is because it has been brought low. Are you getting me? So it's not like you will not be able to be high anymore. You'll be brought low. Now the cost on the woman. Now you have to understand, like I said, you have to understand that before human beings started procreating, animals have been procreating because God made them after their own kinds. And so animal have already been procreating before human beings started to procreate. And you get me? And this the pain when you procreate, when a child is coming out of you, it will come out with pain. Right? And so
Mm.
it's like a normal thing. I'm not sure that if I want to bring something as big as me out of my body, it will cause me pain. You understand? And so it was already animal were already experiencing this. You
Okay,
understand?
that means they were even before the fall of man.
Yes, yes, yes. No, it was animals' way
Way.
of life.
Okay, that means they do not see it
They don't see it
as
as
pain.
pain anymore. They don't see it as
Okay.
pain. It's something they look forward to.
So
Are you
okay.
getting me? So that's why you see that animals, because of the desire, are you getting me? They are driven by that desire, and then the eventuality of the desire is the pain. You understand? So animals were already, even the tree of knowledge of good and evil, animals were already eating it. Because I told you it's the sex organs. Animals have sex organ. They just don't have the tree of life that was given to us to eat. But then they have the tree of knowledge of good and evil because it's a sex organ, and there's a tree of extremes. And so if you enjoy it, then you pain follows enjoyment. And
Okay.
so animals, they enjoy sex and then they enjoy the pain too. So it was an animal reality. And so God was telling the woman that because you have now done this, what the results, God was telling her the result because the result was in animal, and so God was not telling them something they did not understand. She understood what God was saying because she was seeing it in animals. Animals were going through pain when they want to give birth. Are you getting me? When they're enjoying that sex, right? They were going through pain. So God was telling her that this is what this is what you suffer now. This is what will be your reality now. Are you getting? So it wasn't like maybe God was causing link. No, God was pointing her direction to what to be a reality because the moment she ate that lust, she ate that lust is going to drive her. She will be having sex up and
Okay.
down, up and down, up and down, right? And so the eventuality will be pain when she wants to give birth.
All right. So can we say that God never laid cause on man after man fell? That he just only points out the
Yes,
reality
yes, yes. God did not lay any curse on
cause
man.
on man.
And you get, so it's how they
Just
wrote it.
place
They
they
wrote it.
wrote
And you
it.
get, it's how they wrote it.
So
It's not an actual cause, but
cause
a
relation
revelation
of
of
their reality.
of their reality at that
Okay.
moment. So I'll tell you something
So
now. If you walk in the blessing of God, is a result, is a reality. And you get him. So if you obey God, there's a blessing is the reality. And if you disobey God, it's already there. You'll be facing things that are not of God. And anything that are not of God, God is light, God is happiness, God is joy, God is peaceful, God is that will be your own reality. So it's already a system that was already in
okay.
place before man sinned.
Okay. Well, this okay.
Is there no more questions?
Mm, None for now.
Oh, okay. No problem. Well, thanks everyone for being with us. I hope you've enjoyed it. We've enjoyed speaking about these things. We hope that wherever you are, you have found answers for yourself. I have found answers for myself, and we here we have found answers for ourselves. We know that the whole book of Genesis and every other parts of the Bible, it needs critical thinking. It needs us to properly analyze it. You know, we don't have to be the time where we just have to be religious for no reason has passed. The Bible said, "Do not be too religious; you will kill yourself that way." And so now is the time where we are actually using a sound mind to interpret the scriptures, yeah, not all those traditions. You know, people always think that, oh, let's look at the Hebrew traditions. Are you saying the Hebrew people are better than Nigerians? No, they are not better than Nigerians. Everybody is the same everywhere. That's why we need critical thinking. We don't need to look at tradition of one particular people anymore. We need to look at what the word says and use critical thinking to analyze it. You understand? So I pray that some of these answers that we have given, I pray they answer yours. And then if you also have any more questions, please don't forget to put it out there, and please like and share these videos to anyone that you love out there. Thank you.